The sky wasn't supposed to bleed. Commander Ryan Blake stared out of the cracked cockpit window, eyes wide as fire streaked across the blackness above. His ship, Odyssey, shook violently. Alarms screamed, red lights flashed. The atmosphere of the planet below pulled harder with every second. System failure, the I voice repeated coldly. Engine 2 offline, hull integrity critical. Ryan grabbed the manual controls. Come on. Hold together. But it was too late. The ship ripped through the clouds, heat surrounding it like a burning cage. Flames licked the sides. The desert planet below raced up to meet him. Then, crash, metal screamed. Sand exploded in all directions. The Odyssey bounced once, twice, then tore through a rocky ridge before coming to a dead stop. Half buried in dust. Silenced. Minutes passed. Then, movement. A hand shoved up through the broken side hatch. Ryan dragged himself out, coughing hard, blood running down the side of his face. His leg was cut, but not broken. His suit was torn, but pressurized. Somehow. He was still alive. He looked up. The planet stretched in every direction. Gray sand. Jagged rocks, black mountains in the distance. The sky was a dead red. No birds, no wind, no sound. Just death. Where the hell am I? By sunset, Ryan had salvaged what he could: rations, a small solar charger, a knife, his sidearm, and a cracked device that wasn't picking up anything. He set up a small camp next to the wreckage and built a fire. Not for warmth, the temperature was fine. For comfort, the flames flickered against the silent dark. He stared into the sky, half hoping a rescue beacon had triggered. But deep down, he knew the truth. This mission had been classified. He'd been flying alone. No one knew he was here. Was alone. Or so he thought. It started with a whisper, faint, like wind. He turned fast, hand on his gun, but saw nothing. Just empty rocks and shadow. Then he heard it again. He's awake. Ryan stood. Who's there? No answer. He moved toward the noise, carefully, flashlight sweeping across the rocks. Just sand and stone. No life. No prints. Then he saw them. Eyes. At least 6 pairs. Glowing, watching him from the darkness. High on a ridge. They didn't move. They didn't blink. Show yourselves. He shouted. Nothing. He raised his gun. But when the flashlight passed again, the eyes were gone. He didn't sleep that night. Every sound made him jump. By morning, he convinced himself it was stress. Maybe a hallucination. Maybe a dream, until he found the footprints. Bare. Delicate, not human. 4 toes. Deep impressions in the sand circling the wreck. Whoever or whatever they were. They'd been close, watching him, and they were real. He climbed the nearest ridge for a better view. As he reached the top, his breath caught in his throat. Below him, in the distance. Movement, figures, slender, tall, female. He counted them: 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, all walking toward his camp. All moving without fear, all coming straight for him. His heart pounded. Aliens. Female. Aliens. Beautiful. Strange. Their skin shimmered in shades he'd never seen before: blue, silver, deep violet. Some had markings like tattoos. Others had glowing jewelry, or armor, or nothing at all. Each one different. Each one. Breathtaking. They stopped at the edge of his camp as if on cue. Ryan aimed his gun. Stay back. 1 step forward. She had long white hair, skin like moonlight, and deep red eyes. No fear in her face. No threat in her hands. You survived the crash, she said calmly. Her voice echoed like music. Ryan narrowed his eyes. How do you speak English? We've been listening. Watching, waiting, for what? The alien smiled. For you. Ryan didn't lower his gun. The 20 alien women stood still. Calm. Too calm. The white-haired one, clearly their leader, tilted her head. You're scared. Ryan's finger tightened on the trigger. I don't like being watched. You were not harmed, she replied. We could have taken your supplies, your weapon, your life. We didn't. She had a point. Still, Ryan didn't relax. Who are you? Another alien stepped forward, taller, with glowing blue skin and golden eyes. Her voice was sharp and clear. We are the exiled, thrown here from our worlds. Forgotten, the white-haired leader added softly, but we are not weak. We are not alone. Ryan's eyes moved across the group. They weren't soldiers, but they weren't helpless either. Each had a presence like they'd lived through fire and survived. The white-haired one looked at him again. What is your name, human? Ryan, she nodded. I am Valari. And we've waited a long time for someone like you. The women moved closer, slowly, not threatening, curious. Studying him, Zira, the blue-skinned warrior, sniffed the air. He smells clean, not like the others. The others? Ryan asked. Valari answered. Prisoners, killers, monsters from across the galaxy. Long ago, this world was a dumping ground. A dead world for dead hopes, but something happened. The planet stopped letting anyone leave, Ryan frowned. I didn't read that in the nav logs. Because no one talks about it, she said. The ones who survive here, change. Ryan took a step back. What do you want from me? That question hung in the dry air. Then Zira stepped forward. Protection, power, children. Ryan blinked. Wait, what? Valari cut in quickly. Ignore her bluntness. What she means is, we want a choice. All of us were forced into lives we didn't choose. Married off, used, abandoned. We refused, said another. She had green eyes and skin like gold dust. So they sent us here. Ryan looked around. 20 alien women, powerful, sharp, deadly, and they all stood united. He shook his head. You think I'm just going to join your alien harem? Zira smirked. You're free to run. But nothing survives long out there, not alone. Ryan's stomach growled. He hadn't eaten in hours. Valari motioned toward a bundle one of the women carried. We brought food, safe to eat. He didn't trust them. But he didn't have many options either. They sat together by the wreckage fire. The food was surprisingly good, like cooked fruit mixed with meat, slightly sweet, slightly strange. He ate in silence as the women talked in their own language. Then, one by one, they began sharing their names, not just names, stories, Zelly of. The Crystal Clans, her people, had no males. She'd refused to become a breeder. Talara of the Skyward, queens banished for loving a female from a rival house. Kova the Silent One, whose body was part machine after surviving a royal betrayal. And Zira, the most dangerous. The warrior who killed her warlord husband before her wedding night. Ryan looked at them, differently now. They weren't here to seduce him. They were here to see if he was worth them. Night returned. The stars above glowed faint and dim. Ryan sat on a broken wing of his ship, staring into the sky. Valari sat beside him. You're thinking of home, she said. He nodded. Wondering if I'll ever see it again. You might. But if this world chose you, it may not let you go easily. Ryan gave a dry laugh. That's not comforting. She turned toward him. Her voice quieter now. None of us came here by choice, but survival here. It changes you. It teaches you who you really are. Ryan met her eyes. And what am I exactly? Valari smiled softly. We're going to find out. The fire crackled low as the desert wind rolled in. Ryan sat between shadows, his ship behind him. 20 alien women in a wide circle around the flames. No one spoke. Then Zira stood. She tossed a piece of Ryan's ship metal into the fire. Sparks flew. You want to stay alive, human? She asked, stepping into the light. Then prove you deserve it. Ryan stood up slowly. I didn't come here to join your tribe. You didn't come here at all. Zira snapped. You fell. And this planet doesn't care if you're lost. It only cares if you're strong enough to remain. Valari raised a hand, calm but firm. He deserves a chance. Zira grinned. Then let's see what he's made of. Ryan was led away from the fire. The others followed, their strange armor and dresses glowing under the moons. They walked deep into the rocks where the air felt heavier, and even the sand looked darker. At the center of a sunken crater, they stopped. This, Zira said, pointing to a wide stone pit, is where we were tested. Each of us passed. If you want our trust, if you want food, protection, our respect, you will enter. Ryan looked into the pit. Cold shadows. Sharp rock. He couldn't see the bottom. What's in there? Zira turned, eyes fierce. Us, before he could argue, one of the women, Nella, slim and silver-skinned, stepped forward. Your first challenge is not physical. Ryan raised a brow. What is it then? She walked close, almost touching him. Trust. Without warning, she placed a blindfold over his eyes. Ryan flinched. Seriously? Your vision lies to you, Nella whispered in his ear. Your instinct won't. Then someone grabbed his arm gently, but with strength. They led him into the pit. The drop wasn't steep, but it was disorienting. He walked blindly, his other senses sharpening. The air changed warmer, almost humid. He could smell something like oil and flowers. Footsteps echoed around him, soft light, multiple dot, then silence. A voice called out, not Nella, another, Ryan. He froze. I'm behind you. He turned. No, I'm over here. Another voice, female, soft, different. Then another. Which of us is real human? Which one holds the exit? Ryan turned in circles. The voices kept coming, all familiar now. All from the women he'd met. They were testing his ears, his focus, his calm. He took a deep breath. He remembered what Zira said. This world only cares if you're strong enough to remain. Not strong in muscle. Strong in the mind. He focused. The real voice had breath. The others didn't. The fake ones were like echoes. He turned right, took a step. Another. Then a hand grabbed his. Warm, real. Well done, the voice said. Nella again. She removed the blindfold. Ryan blinked. He was standing at the edge of the pit again. The women stood silently. Even Zira looked impressed slightly. You passed the first trial, Valari said. But there's more. Ryan nodded. Figures. Another woman stepped forward, this one in a cloak of feathers. She said nothing, just held up a long spear, carved from black bone. She pointed it at Ryan's chest. Zira grinned. Now fight. The duel wasn't fair. Ryan didn't have armor. No training with alien weapons. Just a human mind and tired muscles, but he didn't run. He dodged, blocked, tripped over sand, rolled. He got hit twice, but he didn't quit. The alien woman circled him like a hunter, quick, graceful, smiling. Ryan lunged. She spun. He grabbed her arm. She let him. In a single move, she tossed him to the ground. Hard. He groaned, but then laughed. That's it? She leaned over him, eyes bright. You stayed on your feet longer than most. Zira walked forward. Better than I expected. Still soft, but not useless. Later, back at the fire, Ryan sat with bruises, breathing hard. Valari handed him water. You're beginning to understand us now, Ryan nodded. Yeah, you're not testing me to see if I'm a threat. No, she said softly. We're testing to see if you're worth protecting. He looked at her. And for the first time since crashing here, he didn't feel alone. Ryan's bruises still burned from the trial. His arms ached. His ribs felt like cracked wood, but he was alive. Sitting near the fire again, watching the alien women speak in quiet tones around him. Not all of them looked friendly, and one of them looked like she wanted to kill him. She sat apart from the others, legs crossed, long black hair falling over her sharp purple armor. Her eyes were dark violet, glowing faintly. Her skin shimmered like polished stone. Zira leaned close and whispered, "That's Valeria." "Don't talk to her." Ryan raised an eyebrow. "Why not?" "Because she hates love, and you are made of it." Ryan didn't believe in warnings like that he was a soldier, a pilot, and someone who had already fought for his place here. He wasn't going to tiptoe around someone, just because they had an attitude, so he stood and walked toward her. Valeria didn't look up. She sharpened a long blade with a strange tool made from crystal. "You're not very good at listening," she said coldly. "I noticed you sitting alone," Ryan replied calmly. "Just thought I'd say hi. You think that means something?" Her voice was ice. "That I should thank you for noticing me?" "Feel lucky?" Ryan stayed still. "No, just figured maybe you wanted company. I don't." She stood, towering over him. Her presence was heavy, like pressure on his chest. "Every male I've ever met," she said slowly, "lied to me, touched me, used me, and swore they loved me before throwing me away." Ryan looked into her eyes. "I'm not like them." "You're still a male," he nodded. "Yeah, but you've never met a human one." That got a small reaction, a twitch at the corner of her mouth. Not a smile. Not even close. But a sign she was listening. Still, she turned away. "I don't fall for sweet words," she muttered. "I don't use sweet words," Ryan replied. "I'm too tired." That made her stop. She turned slightly, facing him now. "Then what do you use, human?" He smiled. "Stubbornness. And bad jokes." She blinked, then something strange. She laughed once, then she immediately went serious again, as if that small crack in her mask offended her. "You amuse me." "That's dangerous," Valeria said. "Don't come near me again unless you're ready to bleed." She walked away. Later that night, Valeria approached Ryan while he cleaned a small piece of wreckage near the fire. "She talked to you?" the leader said. Ryan nodded. "Sort of," Valeria smiled. "That's more than she's done with anyone in months." Ryan asked, "Why is she still here? If she hates love, hates men, why not just leave?" Valeria's voice softened. "Because she wants to stop hating. But she doesn't know how." The next day, the women took Ryan to the edge of a dried-out riverbed. They wanted him to help collect water crystals, a rare thing that formed in shaded cracks. He worked beside them for hours, digging, breaking rocks, sweating. Valeria didn't speak to him, but she watched. And when one of the others cut their hand, she was the first to step forward with medicine. Ryan saw it. Saw her heart behind the blade. That night, she returned to the fire again. Sat closer, said nothing, but didn't leave. As days passed, something subtle changed. Valeria started asking him questions. How did humans fight wars? What do your females do when they're angry? Would your people have exiled someone like me? Ryan always answered honestly. No games, no flattery, no begging. That's what made her curious. And then one night she invited him to sit beside her. She held out her blade. "Sharpen it," he frowned. "You want me to touch your weapon? Trust test. Let's see if you flinch." Ryan took the blade, didn't flinch, sharpened it carefully, then handed it back, handle first. Valeria looked at him for a long moment, and for the first time her voice softened. "You're not like them." Ryan shrugged. "Told you." But right then a distant howl echoed from the rocks. The women jumped to their feet, weapons drawn. Ryan stood too. What was that? Zyra's voice was low. "Deathcrawler." "Haven't heard one in weeks." Valeria's face was pale. "It's hunting again." Valeria rose, blade in hand. "Let it come." She looked at Ryan. And for the first time, she wasn't angry. She was protective. The howl came again. This time, closer, low, deep, like something too large for the night. Ryan grabbed his sidearm, heart pounding. Around him, the alien women formed a circle, blades drawn, eyes sharp. No one panicked. But no one smiled either. It was real. And it was coming. Zyrus spat in the sand. Damn thing smells blood. Someone's injured. One of the women raised her hand. A cut across her leg, fresh from gathering crystals earlier. Just a small wound. Ryan looked toward the black rocks beyond the firelight. What is it? Valeria's. Voice was like stone. It hunts silence, waits underground. Feels movement, smells weakness. Has it killed before? Ryan asked. Zira's answer was simple. Yes. They moved fast. Velari ordered them to higher ground. The ancient ruins nearby half-buried stone arches and broken towers offered some protection. Ryan helped the wounded woman climb, but halfway up, the sand beneath them moved. At first, it looked like a ripple. Then the ground cracked. Then it roared. Something massive burst from beneath black armored plates, glowing red lines down its sides. No eyes. Just a jagged, open mouth full of shifting metal teeth. Ryan fired 3 shots. Pop, 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 but they barely scratched its skin. Zira shouted, "Don't shoot. It senses vibration." Too late. It turned and charged. Ryan grabbed the wounded alien and rolled behind a stone pillar just as the creature slammed into the rocks, shattering them. Dust exploded. Screams echoed. The deathcrawler pulled back, then dove beneath the sand again. Gone. Everything went still. Velari whispered, "Everyone freeze." 20 women, 1 human. Not a single breath moved louder than a whisper. Ryan didn't even blink. Then crunch. A small pebble shifted under one of the women's boots. The sand behind her exploded upward. The deathcrawler rose again. This time faster. Its mouth opened wide, aimed straight at her. Ryan didn't think. He ran. Dove. Tackled her out of the way. Just as the creature's jaws snapped shut where her body had been. It missed them, but now it had him. The creature turned. Ryan backed away slowly, dragging the alien woman with him. "Go now." She hesitated, then nodded and ran. He was alone, face to face with the monster, and it was hungry. He didn't run. He didn't fire. He stood still, heartbeat steady. One wrong move and it would tear him apart. Then he noticed something. Its chest. Not solid. A strange glow pulsed under the plates. A weak spot. His sidearm wouldn't work. But maybe. He reached slowly into his belt pouch. Pulled out a plasma flare, his last one. He waited, then tossed it hard at the creature's glowing chest. Flare exploded in a white flash. The deathcrawler screamed. Twisted, shuddered. Then crashed into the ground smoking. Still moving. But stunned. Ryan didn't wait. He ran, back at the ruins. The women watched him sprint toward them, dust cloud behind him. The deathcrawler shook itself and began to rise again. "Help him," Velari ordered. Zira jumped from the wall, spear raised. Landing on the creature's back, Valeria followed, blades flashing. The rest joined. A coordinated strike. 20 alien women and 1 stubborn human, attacking with fury. Minutes passed like hours. And then it stopped moving. Silence. Smoke curled from the creature's wounds. Its armor cracked. Its mouth open. Still, Ryan stood over it, panting, bruised, covered in dust. He turned to face the others. Zira clapped once. "You've got a death wish, human." Ryan smirked. "Only on weekends." Valeria walked up to him, slower than the others. "You risked your life." She said, "Yeah," he replied. "Well, you're not the only ones who've lost things." She stared at him. Then did something she hadn't done in years. She touched his hand. That night, the fire burned hotter. Ryan sat surrounded not by suspicion, but respect. Velari raised a cup of dark liquid. "You could have hidden, you didn't." Ryan lifted his cup in return. "Neither did you." They drank. But somewhere beyond the fire, deeper in the desert. Something else watched. Something older than the deathcrawler. And it had seen everything. 3 days passed since the deathcrawler fell. The cap had changed. Ryan wasn't just the outsider anymore. He was the one who stood in fire and didn't run. The alien women no longer whispered about him behind his back. Now they asked for his opinion, shared food with him, trained with him. Even Zira stopped insulting him for more than 2 hours at a time. That was progress, but VELARIH ... Valeria changed the most. She no longer avoided him. She walked beside him, spoke softer, and just once laughed at one of his bad jokes. He knew something was shifting. And so did the planet. It began with a tremor, small, barely noticeable. The sand shifted under Ryan's boots as he practiced with a spear one of the women had made for him. Zira looked up from sharpening her blade. "Feel that?" He nodded. "Maybe an aftershock." Then it came again, heavier, stronger. The ground beneath the camp pulsed like something alive. A deep hum echoed from under their feet. Valeri's eyes went wide. "No." Ryan stepped forward. "What is it?" She looked toward the horizon. "Something we were never meant to wake." Later that night, Ryan couldn't sleep. He wandered beyond the camp, toward the ridge where the stars were clearer. His thoughts were loud. Questions louder. How long could they really survive here? Were they alone on this world? Or just ignored by something far bigger? As he walked, his boot hit something hard under the sand. Not rock. Metal. He crouched, cleared the sand, and uncovered a hatch. A faint blue light blinked beneath a dust-covered panel. Not alien. Human tech. Old. Buried. He tapped the glass. It lit up, responding to his touch. The screen flashed. "Access granted. Project Silencer Cradle O2 status. Dormant initiating wake." Sequence. He stepped back. Too late. The ground rumbled again, stronger now. The nearby rocks cracked. Lights came on around him, hidden in the cliffs, lines of soft blue, slowly rising like veins under the skin of the earth. The women came running, weapons drawn. Zira shouted, "What did you do?" Ryan held up his hands. "I found a hatch. It opened by itself." Valari knelt beside the panel. Her face paled. "This isn't alien tech," she whispered. "It's ancient human design, very old, before the exile." Valeria looked around, her voice sharp. "We're standing on something huge." And it was waking up. The sand behind the ridge collapsed. A platform rose, smooth metal, black with glowing circuits. At its center stood a pillar. From it, a voice emerged, cold, mechanical. "Protocol online. Genetic match found." "Welcome, Commander Ryan Blake." He froze. "What the hell?" The voice continued. "Command authority transferred. Cradle O2. Now under human control. Weapon systems initializing. Defense grid reactivating. Purge cycle begins in 72 hours. The women looked at each other, confused, afraid. Ryan took a step back. "What purge?" The voice replied, "Planetary cleansing sequence. Non-human life will be eradicated. Beginning countdown now." Silence. Then chaos. Zira pointed her spear at the pillar. "Turn it off." Ryan shook his head. "I don't know how." Valari grabbed his arm. "This is why we were sent here. Not because we were exiled, but because this world was a weapon. A forgotten weapon. A trap." Valeria clenched her fists. "The purge will kill us all." Ryan stared at the panel. He didn't ask for this. He didn't want control. But now, 20 lives were counting on him. And maybe more than that. Back at the camp, they made a plan. Ryan would return to the command pillar at sunrise. Try to override the system. If that failed, Zira and the others would attempt to destroy the core. But Valari said something that stayed in his mind. "If the machine sees us as threats, it won't stop with us. It'll keep going. Any ship that lands, any life form not human. This world will become a grave for all but one." Ryan looked at them. 20 women, each who had been thrown away by their own worlds. They gave him shelter. They gave him trust. Now he had to give them something back. Hope. That night, Valeria sat beside him at the fire again. She didn't speak at first. Just watched the flames. Then she said softly, "If you survive this, and we don't say that." She looked at him, really looked. "I hated love because it lied. But if I die believing in someone, for the first time, I hope it's you." Ryan reached out and took her hand. And for the first time, she didn't let go. The sun rose red. Not with warmth, but warning. The countdown had begun. 72 hours left. Now down to 2-4. Deep under the sand. Ancient machines stirred, metal arms unfolding, dormant weapons charging. The planet, once believed dead, was preparing to cleanse itself. Every life form not labeled human would be erased. Commander Ryan Blake stood at the edge of the metallic platform, the cold wind biting at his face. The pillar's blue light pulsed beneath his hands. Behind him, the 20 alien women waited, silent, watching, and somewhere beneath them, the world's buried heart beat louder. He opened the system interface again. Purge in progress. Override. Lock. His voice shook. "This system, it won't listen to reason." Zira stepped forward. "Then we break it." Valeria moved beside her. "Or we break you." The others tensed, not out of hate but fear. They had no choice. If Ryan failed, they would die. All of them, together, but Ryan didn't flinch. "I started this," he said, "so I'll finish it." He pressed deeper into the panel, layers of code. Protocols he barely understood. The machine responded to his DNA, but not to his will. He needed a command it would obey. Down below, massive doors opened in the valley floor. Mechanical drones, sleek, spider-like, weaponized, crawled up from the depths. Scanners blinked. Targets locked. The camp's defenses were few. Zira and the others readied their weapons. "We hold the line," she said. "We don't let them touch him." Valeria stared toward the machines, her voice cold but calm. "If we die here, let's make it mean something." They charged. Ryan heard the first clash, metal against bone blades. The women were fighting like hell. For him. For each other. He gritted his teeth, fists tight over the interface. "Think," he muttered. "Come on, think." Then a line of text flashed across the screen. "Secondary core buried. Access forbidden. Emotional interlock required." His heart stopped. Emotional interlock? He typed, "Define emotional interlock." The system answered, "Override may be granted if the operator exhibits deep, mutual emotional connection with a recognized non-human life form." This protocol was built for ethical fail-safes. Ryan blinked. It wasn't just tech. It was watching him, testing him. Footsteps behind him. VLARIYAH. Her armor was scratched. Blood on her arm. But she stood tall. She looked at the screen, then at him. "Do you feel it?" she asked. Ryan nodded. "I think I always did." She placed her hand over his. The screen scanned. Heart rate matched. Shared cortisol. Mutual gaze detected. Emotional interlock verified. Secondary override accessible. Valeria whispered, "Don't fail us now, human." Ryan pressed the command. Override. Shutdown purge. The pillar pulsed. Loud. Then silence. No hum. No lights. No countdown. Down in the valley, the drones stopped mid-attack. Their red lights flickered, then shut off. One by one, they collapsed. In the sand like broken toys, the women stood among the dust and smoke, panting, injured, but alive. Zira looked up at the platform. "He did it," she whispered. "He actually did it." Later, they stood together in the ruins. Valari stepped forward. "This world is no longer a prison. It's a beginning." Zira grinned. "About time we gave it a new name." Valeria stood beside Ryan, her hand still in his. "And what do we call a dead planet that came back to life?" she asked. Ryan looked at her. And smiled. "Home."